Hello everybody, welcome to Deluxe Collectibles, and today I'm going to be going through a list of the retiring LEGO Marvel sets for the end of this year. This information is coming from Promo Bricks, so I'll be sure to link down below, and they've compiled a list of all of the Marvel sets that are going to be retiring at the end of this year, so I'm really curious to go through them here, and I'll let you know which ones I already have in my collection, which ones I want to try to pick up before they go off of shelves, and just my general thoughts as well, and you can let me know the same in the comments down below. But for now, let's get straight into it. Here we have 16 sets that we're going to go through. So to get started here, the first one is the Iron Man Mech, and I actually recently picked up some of the mechs, which I'll kind of talk about a little bit later in the video, but this one is one that I don't have in my collection as of yet. It's kind of not one that was really on my radar. I like the build of the actual mech, but the Iron Man figure is not that desirable because it's included in quite a few of these Marvel sets, so it's one that I probably will end up passing on unless it's on a really good sale. Then I would consider picking it up, but for now, probably one that I'm going to skip over. And the same goes for the next set here, the Spider-Man Mech. It's kind of the same case where the mech is not a bad build, but the actual figure, it's just not something that I really need, and not that I only buy Marvel sets for the figures, but it's definitely one of the main things that sort of draws me towards a set on top of a really good build. But these ones, they're good builds, but it's not something that I feel like is a necessity for my collection, so one that I probably will pass over. Then the next one here is the Avengers Wrath of Loki set, of course a 4+ one here, so one that was never really on my radar too much. The Hulk big figure is probably the biggest draw from this set, but the rest of the figures, a little bit lackluster. Captain Marvel's a cool inclusion, but still, this set's like $70 or $80 over here in Canada, so it's quite a hefty price point, so definitely one that I'm going to be passing on. Then the next one here is the Avengers Helicarrier, which is one that I do want to add to my collection. I love the figures included in this set. I love the brick-built MODOK, as well as such a cool design, and the War Machine figure as well just looks spectacular, so definitely some that I do want to add to my collection. And I do like the Helicarrier build. It might not be exactly like the scale of a Helicarrier in comparison to the figures, but still, I think it's a cool idea and I welcome it, so it's definitely one that I do want to try to get at some point, hopefully on some sort of a deal, because I like to get my sets on sale most of the time. Then the next one here is the Black Widow movie set, and this is the Helicopter Chase, a set that is definitely a long overdue retirement. Of course, the Black Widow movie was delayed several times. I'm so glad it's out now at this point, for a while now at this point, but definitely a cool set. I think it could have been a little bit better maybe, but I still don't mind it. Figure wise, I mean, it's cool to get Taskmaster. I mean, Yelena's pretty good as well, even though I think there can be some upgrades made to that figure, which I have seen on like Instagram, and there's really great customs there. So some cool stuff you can do with that. Definitely one that I'm tempted by, but if it doesn't go on a sale, then it's probably one that I'm fine with passing on. I have a feeling we'll get Yelena at some point in the future in another set, and Taskmaster will still having a somewhat cool design, not really super desirable for myself. And then the next one here is the Iron Man Hulkbuster versus the AIM Agent. In this set, this Hulkbuster, I mean, it's been memed all around. Of course, it's like the pancake head, so not one that I'm too interested in for the build, but I do like the Rescue comic book version figure right there. I think that's a fantastic design, so I'm tempted by that, but do I really want to pay for an entire set just to get a figure? I know recently I did that for Spider-Man Noir by buying the Spider Jet, which I don't really care for that set, but still, this one, I don't really have a personal connection with the character of Rescue, especially the comic book counterpart version, so definitely one that I would feel okay with passing on, and maybe picking up the figure separately on Bricklink or something if it's a reasonable cost. And then the next one here is the Iron Man Helmet right here, and these helmets are cool. I can have an appreciation for them, but with LEGO, I'm very much just into minifigure scale things. I like the display pieces as well, but this one, it's not really something I'm too interested in. The helmet looks a little bit bulkier than I would like it to be, but I don't have huge issues with it. It's just not really something that's up my alley personally. Then we have the Avengers Tower Battle here, a set that I do actually own in my collection. Definitely a super cool one. I love the figures here that are included. I love the actual Avengers Tower. There's so many cool elements to this one. I would definitely highly recommend picking it up because I'm sure it's probably going to be worth quite a bit on the aftermarket after its retirement, and it's just a cool set to add to your collection, so definitely consider that one. Then we have the Iron Man Armory here, the kind of expansion to the original one, which I do have the original, which kind of tempts me to want to get this one, because, I mean, it's cool to have a little bit of an expansion, even though there's elements of the set that really aren't that great. I mean, the hot rod design for the car, nothing too spectacular, I would say. I do like the Iron Man armor, like the prototype one. The all silver look is very clean, and I do like that quite a bit. So maybe if it goes on a sale, it's kind of my motto. If it goes on sale for a good deal, I'll pick it up. But then the next one here's the Captain America mech, which kind of ties into a recent thing I picked up. I grabbed the Costco exclusive mech set where it comes with all three of the new ones, the Captain America, the Thormec, and the Miles Morales mech, which you will be seeing on this list as well. But for those ones, I already got them in my collection, so nothing to worry about too much here. And of course, I think that Captain America one might be the best of the mechs just because the Cap minifigure is exclusive, so very cool little thing there. And then the next one here's the Thor mech, which I think it's my favorite of the mech designs. I love the hammer, I love the mech. Oh, it's very cool. The Thor figure is alright as well. It's technically an exclusive variant of him because he's wearing the helmet, but still the actual torso and stuff is just reused from the other sets, so nothing too spectacular there. Then we have Iron Man vs. Thanos 4+ set here. Probably one of my least favorite Marvel 4+ sets. I don't like this one very much at all, and the figures, they came in the mechs previously, so you could just get them for cheaper at that point, so not something that I really care too much about. Then we have the Miles mech right here, which very cool mech. I like this one a lot. It's weird point to make, but I love the box art of this one as well, so a lot of cool stuff with this design. Definitely one that I'm glad to have in my collection. Then we have the Spider-Man and Sandman Showdown right here. Definitely a pretty cool little set. I mean, it's a pretty decent 4+ one. I feel like 4+ sets work a lot better when they're smaller sets, because then you're not held back as much by having to make the set like smaller, like the builds more simple, because they would already kind of be that way in smaller sets like this, so I figure it works quite well. But that Sandman figure is included in the big Daily Bugle set, and I do hopefully plan on getting that set at some point in the future, so I think I can feel safe passing on this one. Then we have Ghost Rider versus Carnage here, and Spider-Man of course as well, but this one's alright. I have the original Ghost Rider set, and I think I prefer that version of the minifigure, so once again, unless it went on sale, probably wouldn't be picking it up. It's a cool car, I like the hot rod design, but just not something I'm too interested in, but still a cool set overall, especially if you don't have a version of that character as of yet. And then the last one that we have here is the Spider-Man's monster truck vs. Mysterio, which just encompasses all the elements of like a Marvel set. Like, you have like a Spider-Man vehicle that's completely unnecessary. It's an oversized build. It's just kind of all those elements that make up like the stereotype of like a kind of mediocre Marvel set, I would say. This one's not like utterly terrible, but it's definitely not something that I care about too much. It's aimed at a younger age, which is completely understandable. It's 8+ here, so I get it, but I like the Mysterio. I actually bought that like the piece like that's creating the illusion beneath his legs. I bought that separately on Bricks and Pieces because I kind of knew I probably wouldn't get this set, so I wanted to have that piece at least, because I don't believe it's included in the Daily Bugle, so I'm glad to have that separately. And then the rest of the elements, nothing to really write home about there. So that is all of the Marvel sets here that are going to be retiring by the end of this year. There are definitely some really cool ones here that you should try to pick up if you're a Marvel fan, but let me know down below in the comment section which ones do you already have in your collection, which ones are you hoping to pick up. You've heard my list now, so now let me know yours down below. And if you did enjoy the video, it would be highly appreciated if you could leave a like. Also subscribe as well if you would like to check out some of my other content. That would be highly appreciated. So thank you so much. I will see you all next time, and always remember, keep on collecting.